Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me this week. So this week I'm going to be exploring all of the new functions on the new TA Padlet. Padlet actually did release the TA, the Teaching Assistant website a while ago, but I can see that they've actually updated with a lot more different activities and functionalities. So if you're interested in coming to explore the new Padlet Teaching Assistant website, then please keep on watching. Okay, so here I am on Padlet TA. The URL is ta.padlet.com. And I've been a fan of Padlet for many years, even when it was called Wall Wisher. And I actually have walls from more than 10, 15 years ago that I still keep up. And I use Padlet in all of my workshops, lessons with students, because it's a great digital learning wall space. Now, this is the first time that I'm actually exploring Padlet TA. So let's have a look. It says select a tool below to create personalized and engaging materials completely free. Oh, that's interesting. So I've got lesson plan, multimedia presentation, class activities, a rubric, text leveler. Then there's some printable activities here as well. Interactive activities. Oh, that looks really interesting. I can do matching activities, and I think that that's probably something that I'm going to do. Look at the matching and the sorting activities. So, and it's in beta version. So let's just click on this and see what happens, where we go. So 8th grader topic. Let's say, I'm going to say inductive learning. Let's just see what it comes up with. Okay, let me just type that in. And then let's say examples and non-examples. Now, I have no idea whether this is going to work or not, but I'm just going to press generate and just see what it comes up with. I'm going to move myself over here. And you can see that Padlet TA is working on this. I don't know whether it draws from the internet or there's a database that it's drawing from. But this could take a few minutes, so I'm going to hit the pause button and come back. Okay, so that didn't actually take very long. It was about 2 minutes, and I've got these cards here. So all students must have a school ID. Can I drag this into deductive reasoning? And then what else? The sun has risen every day. So we're talking about deductive reasoning and inductive reasoning, which is slightly different to inductive learning and deductive learning, but that's okay. So let's just do that. If a shape has a triangle has 3 sides. So let me just randomly like put these in and see what happens. Like we're putting them in, okay, which I might use for my next workshop actually, because I've already got the cards. So I might just like generate. And then what do we do here? Can we check answers? Oh! That's so good. Retry wrong answers, start from the beginning. Okay, so it's telling us deductive reasoning. So we actually can work out all mammals have kidneys, all students must have a school ID, all living things need water to survive. And then inductive is when we actually see a specific example and then we generalize. So my dog sneezes when it's dusty. The first 3 marbles I picked were blue. The sun has risen every day so far. So I like that. That's a really good, I think, sorting activity that I'm going to use, because I normally use cards, physical cards, because I love the kinesthetic activity for my workshops. But let's say I've got 200-300 people. That's not practical to bring all of those sets of resources for 200 or 300 people. So I'm going to have lots of these boards, sorting boards, where a group of 4 can actually play around with this. And then we save on the environment at the same time too. All right, let's go back to the home. So that was down here, that sorting activity. I love that. The sequencing, okay, looks really interesting. Fill in the blank, multiple choice, interactive activities. This is fun. Okay, let's just have a look at the interactive activity. It's all a beta. So this is a matching. So I might just put, I want to put a math topic. So let's say linear equations. That's something that's 8th grade. And then that's all I'm going to add. So I'm just going to generate now. And last time I only took like 1 or 2 minutes. So I might not hit the pause button. I think we'll just wait here and see. But you can see I can pick a file. I can link it to my Google Drive and add something. I can add a link and add YouTube. So what I might do is with the existing cards that I have for inductive and deductive learning, I might upload that as a file. And so at least that's the database, that's the source that Padlet TA will use, and then generate cards from that, interactive cards. This is pretty phenomenal, Padlet TA. I love the interactivity. I love how it's just not delivering answers, and look, already we've got something. All right, so here we've got 4 examples and then 4 equations, 4 linear equations. So let me see. I've got, that's y equals 3. So I'm going to put that up there. Okay. And then they've tried to confuse me by giving like 2 or 3 lines. So let me see, or are they trying to confuse me? I'm just trying to have a look. I can't actually see the axes. That one I could see the axes. So this should go through the origin. I think it's this one that's going through the origin. I can't see the axes here. So it's not perfect, but you know, it's not bad. Maybe if I put my own examples in, and isn't the answer here? So this is a negative slope. So that's there. And then this is a positive. So I can't quite see the linear equations properly, but you know, it's a start. I would probably upload my own examples and files, and I could actually regenerate that using any large language model. So let's check the answer. Oh, what's going on? I've been teaching mathematics for so long, so I can't actually see. Oh, that's a -3. So I get that. So I put that looking at the origin, I thought that because there's no y-intercept, but actually that's a negative. So I think that that's going through the origin as far as I can see. This is not quite right because the line actually should be at 1. It should be actually translated up to 0, 1. So not sure what's going to happen there, but check it. And now it's okay. It's not quite perfect in terms of the mathematics, but if I upload my own examples, I'm sure I can then get a little bit more accuracy. All right, so that was me just fumbling around trying to work that out. Multimedia presentation. Let's have a look at this. Okay, so let's say the learning objective. Okay, again, we've got 8th grade, and this is in beta, so I'm going to keep it at 8th grade. Okay, let's do the linear equations again. Okay, linear equations. Make it inquiry-based. I think that's important. Inquiry-based learning. Okay, and then let's do, let me just fix that typo, and then let me just see what this comes up with. Discovering linear equations, an inquiry-based exploration of relationships between variables and their graphical representations. I like that. So that means that we're connecting the algebraic form with the graphical representation. I like that. And then it starts off with questions. That's a really great way to start a unit or a lesson, I think. How do changes in one variable affect another in the real world? What patterns can we discover in these relationships? How can we represent these patterns mathematically? Okay, let's investigate. Okay, so here's a pattern discovery. Working with your group, great. So it's promoting collaboration. Observe the pattern of matches in each step. Record the number of matches needed for steps 1 to 5. Can you predict the 10? Okay, so what's changing each step? What's the relation between the step number and matches? Okay, so are they talking about what is the actual investigation? Share your findings from patterns to equations. We start looking at just some basic vocabulary, and then we move into the algebraic form, real world connections. Okay, still thinking. So here, observe the pattern of matches in each step. So I suppose we can come up with our own matches, right? Like it could be a growing triangle or any kind of pattern where we're looking at a sequence of numbers, and it's a linear sequence so that there is a common difference between each of the terms. Okay, this is still generating. Great. Okay, I'm happy with that. I think I'm gonna stop there and then go back. So there's a reflection, extension. I mean, this is a great starting point, I think, right? Because I think, as experienced teachers, we know what works in the classroom, we know what doesn't. And so it's really good if we use this as a starting point and then use our own prior understanding and knowledge and experience. It says, oh, there's a video on YouTube. Playback on other websites has been disabled by the video owner. Okay, I wonder what that video was. But I'm just going to go back to the dashboard now. And let's just see. I looked at multimedia presentation. Okay, let's look at class activity ideas. And let's say again, okay, what's the difference? Okay, I'm going to say surprise me. Oh, this is about American Revolutionary War. Include activities that allow students to analyze primary source documents from a period. Okay. Well, what about teaching students? Okay, teaching students about ethical AI use. That's what I want to do. And I want to include activities that allow students to analyze different scenarios, I'm going to say. Okay, different scenarios. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. So this is the class activity ideas generator, which I suppose is a little bit like the AI recipes that we have on Padlet already, right? That will give us a whole Padlet wall with different suggestions of activities. So I'm interested to see what the TA Padlet comes up with. Normally it doesn't take very long. I just saw someone ask for some suggestions on how we can teach our students about AI or ethical AI use. Oh, this is really good. So we've got AI decision-making stations, 30 minutes low effort. Students rotate through different stations featuring real-world AI scenarios and must decide if the AI use is ethical or not, documenting their reasoning on a shared Padlet wall. That's really good. Low effort, 45 minutes, AI ethics news headlines. Students analyze recent news headlines about AI use and create their own ethical guidelines for AI implementation. That's so good. AI ethics debate, that's 90 minutes. And then there's a 3-hour high effort AI ethics innovation project where students design and present a new AI application while addressing potential ethical concerns and implementing safeguards. That is really good. Okay, I think I'm going to ask for something else that someone asked on LinkedIn for. So in terms of sharing photos of each other. Okay, this was somebody on LinkedIn requested, does anyone have any lesson ideas on teaching students about ethical AI use in terms of sharing photos of each other, right? So do we need to have permission? How old are these students? All these kinds of questions. So let's regenerate this with the new, and then I'm going to send it to that person on LinkedIn to see whether there's any ideas that they can share here. But you know that I don't like to create AI slop. I always like to create something, if I'm demonstrating a tool, something that's useful and practical that I'm going to be using myself. So if this generates, lots of different ideas, then I can share this link easily, this Padlet wall link. And I think it says copy text. Oh, look at this. Photo permission scenarios. Students analyze different scenarios about photo sharing and AI use, discussing whether the actions are ethical or not, using simple red or green cards for voting. And we have digital permission slips. Students create their own digital permission slips that outline their preferences for photo sharing and AI use. Then we have AI photo ethics newsroom. Students work in small groups to create news reports about ethical photo sharing and AI use incidents, presenting both positive and negative examples. And then the high touch, high effort, 3 to 4 hours digital ethics summit. Students organize and participate in a summit where they create guidelines for ethical AI photo use, develop presentations, and engage with real world scenarios. That is amazing. So I can either copy this, paste, or I can export this to Google Docs, export to PDF, to Word, or to a Padlet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to export this to a Padlet, and then I'm going to share this Padlet with the person on LinkedIn. And if they want something that's a little more fully developed, okay, or it's successfully exported. So let's open that and go and have a look. Okay, so this is photo permission scenarios, digital permission slips. These are the 4 ideas, and then they're really fully developed here. And I could use any other AI tool to come up with some scenarios if I wanted some scenarios. Wow, Padlet, you've done it again. I don't know how many videos I've made showing the different wonderful functions of Padlet. So let's just go back to the home page. These are all the options that are available so far. The text leveler is great. The rubrics, of course. I haven't looked at the printable activities, but that looks fun. And then look at all the beta kind of ideas here in terms of sequencing, sorting, and fill in the blank. I'm going to be using this for a workshop that I have in Shanghai. I think I've got a few hundred teachers, and so it's not practical for me to actually print out the cards to demonstrate or for teachers to arrive at their own understanding of inductive learning versus deductive learning. So I'm going to create these sorting walls, the matching walls. If they're in groups of 4 and there's a few hundred, I only have to create about 50 of them. But I can just press duplicate, which would be really quick and easy. And it saves on the resources as well in the environment. Okay, so that was Padlet TA, or the TA assistant on Padlet, with the new functionalities, the new AI tools, more than just the AI recipes that was released a few months ago. I'm pretty impressed. I mean, we can, have these interactive sort cards without any coding. We can actually upload any files and information so that we're actually using our sources and perhaps some of the activities that we had before. And I just love the functionality. So thank you once again, Padlet. If you've been exploring the new functionalities on TA Padlet, or Padlet TA, as I keep calling it, please let me know in the comment section below. How have you been exploring this with your students or with your colleagues? And I want to say thank you so much for joining me this week. And I really hope to see you next time.